Whether it's an online shopping binge or you caught yourself in the frenzy of Black Friday, this is a time of year we all buy lots and lots and lots of stuff. And with all that consumerism that is good old-fashioned America, we know it comes with plenty of waste as well. So what can you toss? What can you recycle? We've got the experts back from SWACO. We have Hannah Greer-Brown. We also have Eric Weber today from Rumpke. So thank you guys for being here. And Hannah, how much trash are we creating? I feel like I think about it all the time, right? We're always buying new, buying something else. We throw a lot of stuff away.
Yeah, on any given day in Franklin County, each of us is throwing away about 5 pounds of waste. And that all comes out to the landfill that SWACO owns and manages.
Okay, so what are some simple steps? We want a green holiday, not just the color, but we want to be green, right? What can we do?
Absolutely. Well, when you think about kind of all the festivities this time of year, we're busy buying and wrapping gifts, we're decorating, we're baking more than we normally do. And so all of that can lead to additional waste. In fact, we see about a 25% increase in the amount of trash this time of year. And so we really want people to remember the 3 R's. It really is as simple as reduce, reuse, and then when it comes to recycling, make sure you recycle right.
Okay, so Eric, that's where you're going to come in, recycling right. And I was saying Hannah was here not too long ago and totally schooled me on a lot of things that we just didn't realize. So I think this is very eye-opening for a lot of people. So first, let's talk about what we can, what we can't when it comes to wrapping gifts, say. So what are some of the things we should toss?
Sure, yeah, it's so important that you recycle right. Wrapping paper can be recycled, as well as gift bags and gift cards, as long as they're plain. Anything that contains a large amount of glitter, foil, plastics, things like that, are not good to be recycled. And also tissue paper cannot be recycled.
Okay, and that's interesting because you feel like it's something as simple as paper, right? That should be able to go right in there. What about lights, like the strings, the ones that don't work anymore? Where are we putting those?
Those are things like the lights, those items, they should not be recycled either.
Okay.
If they can't be reused, they need to be discarded, but you could also, if they're usable, take them to Goodwill if you don't need them any longer.
Okay, that's a good idea too. Yeah, donate them. And then things like this, because they are a plastic, right? Essentially, a lot of the garland and things we tie around our trees and steps. So what are we doing with those?
Well, so you'll find most of those on Christmas trees. Live Christmas trees can be composted. They can't be put out at your curb for recycling, but they can be composted.
Yeah.
As well as your live wreaths. You just got to make sure that you're removing things like the ornaments, the garland that you're talking about there, and
tinsel,
like
any kind of stuff that's hanging on there you want to get rid of.
Yeah, you want to get rid of that, and again, reuse that the next year, or you can donate those items too.
Okay, I know. I literally love putting this stuff up, and then it's like, you know, trends change, decor changes, so you've got a lot of these things that unfortunately you don't know what to do about it. What about greeting cards? Are those recyclable?
They are, if they're just a basic paper. Again, Eric mentioned you want to avoid buying things with a lot of glitter or foil on them. But if it's just a basic paper greeting card, you can absolutely recycle those.
Okay, so you mentioned live trees, wreaths. Each city, I think, too, does usually kind of some program. I know in Hilliard, right, we're allowed to kind of put them out at a certain point and they come to compost them. So it's probably something that you check with your city?
Yes, your local municipality.
Okay, and they could tell you. All right, so food waste is another big thing, and that's the one thing I think we get confused on more than anything else, Hannah. So what are some of the do's and don'ts there?
Absolutely. So many of us are entertaining larger groups than we normally cook for this time of year, and food waste presents a big opportunity for us to improve. And so SWACO likes to just kind of give a couple of tips that make it really easy to reduce food waste. So when you're grocery shopping, always shop with a list that helps avoid impulse buying and ensures you only buy what you need, which is also a really important factor in reducing food waste. And then in order to figure out how much do I need, you know, I have 10 people coming, I don't know how big of a turkey to get. There's a tool online called the Guesstimator. Just go to SWACO.org and you can find that, and it really helps you calculate based on the number of people you need to serve and how many leftovers you want, how big of a turkey do you need, how many sides do you need. So it's a really nice tool as you're preparing your grocery list to know how much to buy.
Okay, and then if you've got leftovers, I mean, try to use the containers that are reusable, right? Absolutely. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you know, and I know when I have leftovers after kind of a big family gathering, I try to send my guests home with some of those leftovers.
Right.
That way I'm not responsible for eating all of them. I think it's kind of a special touch. They go home with lunch for the next day, and you know, helps reduce the amount of food I've got to deal with after the holidays.
Right, the amount of garbage you're throwing away and all that stuff too. And lastly, what about I've got a 4-year-old and an 18-month-old, and I tell you, the amount of plastic they put toys in these days is out of control. Can you throw that in a recycling bin?
When it comes to plastic, you really only want to recycle your bottled-shaped plastics.
Okay.
So everything else should be put in the garbage.
So try to buy the stuff that doesn't have all that, because then it's easier for mom and dad too, Christmas morning. All right, guys. So Recycle Right, of course, you can go to either of your websites, right? You guys both have lists on there to weed it out. All right. SWACO and Rumpke, all the info up on screen for you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.